First, though, we want to get to the latest on the protests that have dominated the discussion here in Western New York for days now. Good evening. I'm Mary Alice Demler.
And good evening, Mary Alice. I'm Scott Levin. There's another one that has been going on in Buffalo this afternoon. We'll get there in just a moment. But first tonight, some headlines from earlier today. Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz says for the first time since Saturday night, he is not planning a curfew tonight. That curfew was imposed after the large demonstrations in Niagara Square over the weekend.
We've also seen some arrests today that came out of those weekend protests. Buffalo police put out this picture over the weekend of someone who tried to set fire to City Hall Saturday. Today, they say that was 20-year-old Cortland Renford, who is facing state and federal charges in that arson, thanks to tips from the public. The DA's office also announced charges against 23-year-old Sir Raven Rogers, the second from Buffalo, who's accused of vandalizing City Hall with graffiti. Another 23-year-old is facing less serious charges for graffiti vandalism.
And the leaders of the state Senate and Assembly just announced that after hours of discussion earlier today, they are working on a package of bills to address the issues that have led to all of this unrest. They are expecting to reveal and vote on them sometime next week. And the protest did continue today in Buffalo with yet another demonstration in Niagara Square that moved out onto various other streets.
Though it was not on the scale of what we saw over the weekend. 2 on Your Side's Kelly Dudzik has been following them, and she is live with an update. So where are you now, Kelly?
Yeah, Scott and Mary Alice, we're at Buffalo Police District C headquarters at East Ferry and Fillmore, and we're here because the protesters just left here about 20 minutes ago. Now they're on their way to another precinct, but I want to take you back to 3 o'clock this afternoon. That's when the protesters started gathering at Niagara Square in downtown Buffalo. So if we can show you video of that, you can see how there were about 75 to 100 people who gathered there, and then this whole thing turned into a march. This was a peaceful protest to seek justice for Western New Yorkers who've lost their lives in police custody. The protesters marched to the 33, where they tried to get onto the 33, but Buffalo police blocked them from doing that. There were also a bunch of state troopers there making sure that didn't happen. Police also blocked a bunch of intersections on Elm Street so people could not get onto the 33. But then the protesters ended up marching here to Fillmore and East Ferry to C District headquarters, and now they're on their way to E District headquarters. Now, the woman who organized this protest founded the group Young Visionaries. It's a local group that supports people to have a positive future, young people, so they can have a positive future. She says she felt it was important to organize the protest because she says the point of Saturday's protest was lost in everything that ended up happening in Buffalo Saturday night. She says that she would like to have a voice when it comes to setting policy for how police respond to calls. Mary Alice.
And Kelly, how have police been responding to all of these protesters today?
So there are a lot of state police troopers, Mary Alice, still in Buffalo. They're staging and getting ready in different locations so that they can respond in case something like this happens. So there were 2 to 3 dozen state troopers over on Tupper near the 33 earlier, and then they got back into about 2 vans and went somewhere else. And they've also been following the protesters so that they can respond and make sure they don't get onto the 33. And as the protesters marched from C District headquarters here where I am right now to E District, Buffalo police cruisers are getting ahead of them. There's also the Erie County Sheriff's helicopter up in the air to see where they are. But again, I need to stress that this has been a peaceful protest going on since 3 o'clock this afternoon.